Imagine a 2026 World Cup matchup that looks like a mathematical certainty: England versus Ghana. The English squad is built on a foundation of extreme value. Take their star midfielder, Jude Bellingham. His individual market valuation alone is approximately 2.3 trillion rupiah. Compare that to the Ghanaian national team. Their total squad value is just 4 trillion rupiah, with their most expensive player, Antoine Semenyo, accounting for 1.4 trillion of that total. When you look past the top earners, the mathematical disparity becomes even more absurd. This bar chart shows the gap. The remaining English roster outvalues the rest of the Ghanaian squad by 20 trillion rupiah. Because of this immense asymmetry, public opinion and analysts tended to reach the same conclusion: that sheer capital and concentrated talent make a dominant victory inevitable. But when the match ended, the scoreline remained 0-0. The statistics tell the story of a stalemate. While England controlled 62% of the possession, the actual threat level was balanced, with shots on target finishing at a tight 5-3. In a results-oriented world, it's easy to dismiss this as a fluke or a run of bad luck for the strikers. However, the gap between England's resources and their results suggests something deeper. It points to a failure to adapt to the specific reality of the match, a tactical friction that mirrors how massive organizations often stall when their environment changes. Ghana entered the game with a clear, realistic assessment of their position. They knew they couldn't win a man-to-man physical or technical battle against England's elite lineup. Instead, they utilized a highly disciplined zone marking system. This vector diagram shows how their defenders functioned, not by following individuals, but by collapsing as a unit to neutralize England's skill advantage and launch coordinated counterattacks. England's manager, Thomas Tuchel, relied on a standard 4-2-3-1 formation to break through. There was logic behind the choice. This exact setup had just dismantled Croatia 4-2 in their previous outing. But success can be deceptive. It creates a psychological comfort zone, convincing leaders that because a plan worked yesterday, it must be the only way to win today. As the game progressed, the star-studded English system began to fracture. Ghana's discipline broke their rhythm, and England's individual players grew increasingly frustrated. Tuchel responded with tersurat, the visible level of change. He swapped tired players for fresh ones, assuming new legs would solve a structural problem. The real issue was tersurat, the invisible strategic structure. The tactical lines on this board remained static. The formation transformed from a tool into a dogma, becoming a set of instructions the leadership was too comfortable to abandon, even as evidence demanded a pivot. When strategy is treated as unquestionable, failure is almost certain. Throwing fresh resources at a structurally broken plan will never change the outcome. This dynamic isn't exclusive to sports. It is a recurring theme across the modern corporate landscape. The same pattern of rigidity that slowed England is often what allows smaller, more adaptable competitors to outpace legacy corporations with 10 times the budget. An overwhelming advantage in capital, product quality, or talent is neutralized the moment an organization loses its ability to respond to a shifting reality. Size provides an illusion of dominance, but that dominance only lasts as long as the strategy remains agile. True long-term sustainability isn't found in a single winning formula. It requires a balance of high quality, rigorous discipline, and a willingness to change course. Within any organization, only one thing should be unchangeable: the ultimate long-term vision. Everything else, the specific strategies, the daily tactics, and the methods that worked in the past, must be viewed as adaptable tools. Never let yesterday's victory define your limits. If your past success becomes your only comfort zone, it will eventually become the reason you fail.